2 Megapops is an achievement in Balloons Tower Defense 6 where a single tower needs to get 2 million or more pops throughout the entire CHIMPS game, and no harvest is an achievement about not harvesting any crops from the entirety of Cornfield. Now, can we do both? With a single tower in mind that will blow, well, hopefully not blow up the corn, but blow up the balloons. Start of this journey, we have an engineer at the top right here and a dark monkey on the little spot over here. This is what I find to be one of the most consistent starts on Cornfield, just in general. But also for a no harvest achievement, this is also very prime as well. Is round 8 going to be our first challenge here? Let's see, now let's put the engineer back on first, and the round is done and set. So let's just now put down an engineer so that A, we have a little bit more firepower, and B, we have a means of being able to pop camo balloons for round 24 and onwards. Just in general, I really dislike micromanaging intensive towers, but recently I've grown a soft spot for the top path artillery, or the mortar, sorry, and I'm really liking it. I really like this cross path of the artillery. This also enables each shell to stun Moab class balloons, and with enough rate of fire, you are able to perma-stun ZOMGs. Let's put this to strong, and actually I'll put you to strong as well. Put you back onto first, and yeah, that did us with that round. So Striker Jones will be able to get you to level 20 well before you are truly needed for round 100, but I want to say round 98 as well. So now it's a question of where to put Striker Jones. I'm thinking right next to the engineer here. As long as we're plopping down before the next round begins anyways. Yeah, this round is going to require some micromanaging. Was Striker Jones on strong as well? Yeah, that seems to do it. Explode the yellow boys. Balloons. Okay, we're going to use his ability on this round. Okay, let's just stun those. And yeah, this is going to require a little bit more finesse. Yes, thank you. Switch the engineer up, then invest. Now we've got a chosen tower for the 2 Megapops achievement down. It is now just a simple matter of fact of upgrading the mortar so that we can actually get through these rounds. Because we're still not out of the woodworks yet. I would say up until like we get the big one, we're going to really struggle with some of these rounds. And I mean that literally. We're going to quite literally struggle with some of these rounds, especially if we don't micromanage where the mortar's cursor is at any given point in time. Yeah, pink balloons are a little bit of a menace here. Can we go through this without requiring rapid reload? Can we? No! We might require that upgrade first before we can get Balloon Buster. I honestly dislike round 19 a lot because of the fact that it's just filled with yellows and pinks, which are some of the fastest balloons in the game. We've got Balloon Buster now, but it's just a matter of surviving this round as well. We're going to kind of need to sacrifice a few pops here and there if we're actually going to be able to get to a point where this can be self-sufficient on its own without requiring all the other towers on the field to do a lot of the pops. Let's see, rapid reload. And don't worry about round 24. Our Ninja Monkey will be able to solo the camo round 24. And then from there, we'll be able to get some cleansing foam so we can decamify the later camo balloons until we no longer need it. We now have Shell Shock, which means our explosive radius now covers this little square down here where we place a cursor, so that it kind of surrounds this little patch of cornfield here. And as you can tell, I'm clicking and I can't remove it. That is the power of disabling the removable cost rate. You cannot remove the obstacles on the field. Let's get cleansing foam now so we can now deal with these, because the ninja itself alone is not going to be able to handle with these camo balloons. And I don't have the money at the moment in order to try and pursue the radar scanner, so we need a cheaper form of decamifying balloons, which means the cleansing foam but we're going to go with overclock anyway, so this is a 2 birds 1 stone scenario. With 2 Megapops, I need that additional fire rate over the additional damage in which the bottom path will provide to the biggest one. So that is why we're going with the middle one, because if you can perma-stun the Merle class balloons, then that is definitely better than the additional amount of attack power that each shell will be able to provide, because if they escape from the field because you don't have enough attack rate, then there's no point getting that additional damage in the first place. Hopefully we'll be able to get the big one on this round, which means we'll have a not an easy time, but a relatively easier time dealing with the first Moab that spawns, sorry. And Striker Jones, we need his concussive shell so that we'll be able to deal with this scenario. And let's concussive shell you again. And the Moabs hopefully will be... Yeah, there we go. It's always those last lingering few Moabs... Sorry, not Moabs. Balloons that could try and catch you off guard. Especially if they're sneaky fast boys like the pink ones. Why am I talking to all these balloons like they're orcs? Sneaky boys. Purple balloons are the sneakiest ones. Because have you ever seen a purple balloon before? Didn't think so. Well, at least wizards haven't. I want our village up with radar scanner, meaning we no longer need to rely on the cleansing foam for decamification. Also, no one's going to say no to jungle drums. Let's ensure this alchemist is bottom rightmost, A, so that it has fewer chances of being able to target BFBs and ZMGs on the left hand side, but B as well, so that we can actually reach the mortar itself, so that it's the only thing in which the alchemist is targeting and buffing. So let's see. Yep, that's getting acidic mixture dip. We are in range. That's why I choose this particular spot for my 2 Megapops no harvest on this map. Because we can put the alchemist here and it does minimal damage. It can't reach the balloons over here. Can't reach Moabs. I think it can target BFBs and ZOMGs. But that's a problem for me in the future. That's not an in the moment problem. That's an in the future problem. Because every single 95 rounds matters in a CHIMPS scenario when you're going for a self-imposing challenge like this. As you may have noticed by the thumbnail, and also our loadout here, we don't have a glue gunner or an ice tower in our arsenal. Pretty shocking, because those are truly S-tier supporting towers for a 2 Megapop scenario. They're like, if you don't have these towers, or at least one of them, then you can have a severely harder time. But I say, attack speed. We're going for overclock next so that we can dramatically increase the fire rate of the big one. Last Moab, I hated that the UI is covering up the right hand side of the map, but I guess it has to go somewhere. And because of the fact that it's the left side of the map, then the UI obviously appears on this side. It just means that, well, if I want to target something, it's a slight inconvenience with the UI there. Can I just change your targeting priority to none for the moment? I wish that was a targeting priority. It targets none of the balloons. It just only buffs balloons. If you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to give it a like, comment, and if you've not done so already, subscribe so that you don't miss out on future videos when they are uploaded onto the Flare Balloons channel. I'm saying it like I'm on a third party, just observing this. I myself am an observer, but I am also the player of this particular scenario. I am observing a bunch of monkeys with military grade weapons popping balloons. Life could not get any more weirder than that. Round 60, the first BFB of the day, and I do think concussive shell is kind of needed so that we can store this for as long as we can. The unfortunate thing about concussive shell later on is it does do more damage, but it's definitely not enough damage to make a 2 Megapop scenario impossible with another tower. Now, do you think Striker Jones is capable of a 2 Megapops? Well, there's only been one recorded scenario in Cubism where it's been done, and I don't really want to try a 2 Megapops with Striker Jones, thank you very much. I don't really particularly enjoy the supportive tower trying to be the offensive tower, trying to get the 2 Megapops. It's kind of like, I don't know, Overclock getting 2 Megapops. It's like, that's just severely out of its nature anyways. Let's see. Stun the fortified Moabs. Get them all down juicy. I mean, popped. Why do I even say that for? I don't know why. Get Overclock reapplied. Stun them. The stun effect is just as important as the damage on this thing. If it wasn't for the stun, I honestly think that most scenarios of this would be impossible. Because you're not buying yourself enough time to be able to throw out enough shells to destroy everything that the Trek has. I mean, that the round has. The game has. You know what I'm talking about, right? Don't you? I'm sure you do. We're all nerds of this game anyways. Or maybe this is your first time watching me, and thank you ever so much for hopping on board and seeing this ridiculous self-imposed challenge attempted to be completed. Not removing any of the crops on a advanced map like this, and yeah. Although, would you consider this an advanced map, or do you think it might be an easier advanced map where it could be a top-end or a top-end intermediate map? Because some people may obviously probably think that this is an intermediate map when it comes to like overall difficulty, but I think the difficulty of the map is subjective depending upon the player. Some people think that Dark Castle Inferno is not an expert map but an advanced map, whereas others may probably think that Belongs is an extreme map, but it has the difficulty of expert because heroes gain experience as if it was an expert map. Also, there's no such thing as extreme level difficulty maps on this game. It's not been a thing since the previous installment on Bloons Tower Defense 5. Come on, pop them please. I don't want them escaping. Yeah. Only a few hiccups so far. The only downside to getting the tier 5 over the tier 4 is that overclock no longer applies itself for 100% of the time until the overclock ability comes back, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to take so that we have more explosive Venus and being able to stun Moab class balloons. Some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make. Lord Farquaad. 4 Moabs, 0 Moabs. I don't trust these BFBs. They look like they want to pinch your arms off. What I find with the top half mortar and just mortars in general, the key to getting as much damage out as possible and to use as much of your PS cap as possible is to not always have your cursor at the very front of the balloons on the track. So let's say, for example, this Moab over here is in front of these BFBs. But because of the fact I have other foes to consider, I'm not moving my cursor so that I am always having my cursor in an area where it's able to do as much damage as possible to as many balloons as possible. It's not always thinking about what is in front of you, but it's also thinking about what is far in front of you. Lots of fortified ceramics on this round, but I'm not going to complain about that because we are very good against them. This is a tower that is really good against ceramics. I wouldn't say it's like a top tier tower, but I would definitely say when it comes to handling ceramics, I would call this an A tier tower. Not S tier. S tier would be like the top path glue gun. Oh my god, I'm not even listening to my own advice because we need to deal with these fortified Moabs. Ooh, yeah, one little space there when they can escape and they will exploit that. Let's try and stall these fortified Moabs as much as we can by having it so that they are always over BFB, but that's not always going to be possible, is it now? Nah, not going to be always possible, and they're kind of making their way through, as Striker Jones says. Okay, let's stun that first one there. Lovely. Deal with that fortified, and... okay, so that was much more successful, but we still got the rest of these BFBs to consider. It's always about every single foe on the battlefield. Not just the one in front of you, but every single one of them. A wise man once said, it takes a genius to know what is in front of you, but it takes a strategist to know what is everywhere, every single factor that there is on the battlefield to ensure victory. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, we've now got the biggest one. The biggest of explosions. Actually, not the biggest of explosions. I think that belongs to the Tsar Bomber. Imagine a Master Bomber, but rather than throwing sticky bombs, it just throws Tsar Bombers to the foes. It doesn't require an ability activation. It just throws Tsar Bombers to the foes. Imagine that Master Bomber surrounded by 20 middle path, like Shinobi Tactics do it. It's like your screen can't handle the explosions. Epilepsy warning. The Tsar Bomber Master Bomber is on the loose, and he is surrounded by 20 of his disciples. At the moment, Striker Jones is at level 15, so the only things we've got left that we can really benefit from is, well, actually, level 18, level 19, and level 20. Level 20 gives all mortars and bomb towers double damage for 10 seconds. Now you know when we're going to be using that. Like rounds 98, 99, well not actually 99, we can handle with fortified DTs for about it, but round 98 definitely. And if we get on round 95, we'll use it on there as well. Round 100 is a necessity for artillery command to come in. Because when I first tried to do this sort of thing, I only thought that artillery command only ever activates if you have a Mob Assassin or an artillery battery or a Popinol or a Moab Eliminator on cooldown at the moment. So I'm like, really? It activates on level 20 despite not having an ability that is with one of these? So that was my confusion there. We're still very far away from our goal. We're now going to get ourselves a call to arms and then Homeland Defense. Yes, we are getting Homeland Defense. With the Ultra Juggernaut scenario, we got the Ultra Boost. So now we're pursuing the other crazy attack speed path. But this time it's only temporary, but it's still really cool. And it's more beneficial for all of your towers if you're just trying to survive as long as you can anyways, rather than Ultra Boost. But Ultra Boost is still important because it's a perma attack speed increase. We now have a call to arms. And as you can tell, our beloved, the biggest one, is making light work of all of these. See, look at the stuns on those. That's brilliant. The stun is just as important as the damage itself. Because honestly, without the stun, it would require far more track claim to be able to deal with all this. ZOMGs, but I don't get stunned as much, but it's still pretty important nonetheless. Like when we get Homeland Defense and when Overclock is applied, that is when the stuns will definitely be more noticeable on the ZMGs. If you have enough shells fired out, you can perma-stun them. But it just takes enough fire rate to get them to that point to where you can do that. Also, this is just really satisfying to watch. Watching a Mortar Monkey doing a 2 Megapop scenario on a map as confined as this, and with self-imposed limitations like not being able to remove any corn off the field. Although, because of the fact we've now got a tier 5 tower, we should be more careful with when we use our overclock, so we use it in those moments when we really need that dramatic temporary increase in our fire rate. Use that again. How close are we now? Okay, an additional 10% attack rate. That is always welcome. I will never say no to additional attack speed on our 2 Megapops intended tower. That is just a thing. Yeah, they definitely stun for longer on the smaller blimps than the ZMG. Obviously the Bad will not be affected by the stun because it's the Bad. The Bad is a Giga Chad that just defies the laws of physics. The only thing that can be affected to the Bad itself is debuffs that enables it to have more damage. But anyways, enough of me rambling, it's DDT time territory. And as you can tell, we definitely can stun DDTs, but we still need more fire rate so we can perma-stun them. And that additional damage is going to be very handy. Like, Striker Jones is one of the fastest leveling heroes in the game. And I think Quincy is as well, Obin. I think Gwen is slightly slower if I remember correctly. I'm not too sure now. My knowledge of heroes and their ability to be upgraded is not that good, to be honest. Also, we're 17k away from Homeland Defense. We're nearly home, people. Although letting these in is a little bit no good. It's a no good scenario. We want the balloons to be as outside from the range of these particular towers as much as we possibly can, but that's not always going to be the case. Also, I think our alchemists can only target ZMGs when they're over on the left. Yeah, let's use it now, actually. Let us reduce the chances of these balloons getting into this little square here. Overclock. Once they get to BFBs, they're kind of good. As in, our situation of being able to handle them. Okay. I'm glad we got our artillery command ready for round 95. Okay, so let's combine all of these together. So... wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Now. And move the cursor up. Just look at how light work the biggest one is making these DDTs. That's brilliant. I love it. I love this tower. I've grown soft for this tower, honestly. I absolutely love it. Especially the stun factor on it, which I really love. Come on. Deal the damage. Yeah? No, I can't target the CMGs. That's fantastic. I can definitely expect us to target the bad though, but there's only one bad CHIMPS game, so I'm not fast. I'm not gonna complain. Oh wait, we've got Homeland Defense now. I just realised that. That would have helped us out, honestly. I think. Yeah, that's a perma-stun right there. That is definitely what you call a perma-stun. Those CMGs were just in place. Shell-shocked. Wouldn't. Overclock. Need Homeland Defense again to be active. There we go. They're not perma-stunned. Let's use concussive shell to hold them in place. And again, we may need to restart this round actually and use concussive shell a few more times so that we can actually do this, because we've not got enough fire rate and they're kind of making it. No, we're gonna restart this round. When you re-enter a game, the abilities can be in a different order depending on when you deploy those towers down. So that's why they're in a different order now. Homeland Defense. Concussive shell again. We really need you down before you can really get too far along this track. Otherwise, these towers will be able to get too many pops, and then the challenge will be a failure. We don't want failure. Failure is not an option at this table. This is not a dining table. I'm just speaking realistically. I don't know. I don't even know anymore, actually. Round 98. Okay, let's apply everything. Oh gosh, where do those fortified BFBs go? I don't think they even. I don't think they ever appeared visually before I just absolutely decimated them all. And that is, yeah, that's round. That's definitely round. That's definitely round. And let's try and only use overclock for round 99, honestly. I don't think we'll need anything else. Let's see. Let's wreak havoc on all these. Let's hopefully have our towers ready for abilities ready. Okay, so concussive shell. Okay, sticky bombs is never something I go for a supporting tower for around 100, but in this case we need as much concentrated damage as we possibly can, and there's no room to put a spike storm down. Like, this is just a little bit too narrow in order to try and put a spike storm down in this space here. I did test this out. And yeah, so we need as much damage done as possible on this beloved bad. Yeah, the big huge one. Oh, I should have went with Perishing Potion, honestly, rather than just upgrading this to a crossbow. But you know what, we'll go with it. We'll go with it, okay? This is our strategy. This is our strategy that we've put together. That's what I said, the word together. Not just me solely, but all of us here together. Homeland Defense again. Increase our fire rate. Increase our pop pierce potential. It's getting very far, but I am not concerned whatsoever. We need to deal the damage. And then once the bad layer is gone, then we will... Here we go. Artillery command. And put those together. Okay, let me select... I swear, if I fail this because of the goddamn little turrets down there, that's not going to be very good. Let's see. Homeland defense. We need to use concussive shell again. Actually, let's just use that, actually. Come on, come on, come on. Artillery command again. Stop covering up that portion of the screen. Homeland defense is kind of needed again. Okay, I think we're there now. Yep, we're there. 2,010,000 pops. 2 Megapops. And no harvest achievements done in the same game. Let me know if there's anything that I could have done to improve my run here. Perhaps get a few more pops on the biggest one here. But honestly, I think there wasn't a huge amount that I could have done to improve this. Probably micromanage our targeting cursor just a little bit more in the earlier rounds so that we have a few more pops. But honestly, I should have done the perishing potions then and there rather than going with that. I was just a little concerned about damage, that was all. That is why we have these sticky bombs in place, just so that we can deal the damage. Early reach for the stick bombs, and then middle and late reach of the stick bombs. We just needed that so that we had some extra bad damage on board. But thank you all so much for watching. I was actually originally wanting to have this as Sabo, but I'm like, don't need that. And if I was to have a Sabo, it would have been down here. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Please be sure to try this out for yourself and see how far you can get in this scenario. Or perhaps you can complete it for yourself, and that is brilliant. But either way, brilliant. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see me try and do in the future. It could be something stupid like, I don't know, subs only in Flooded Valley. That's a challenge in and of itself. It has been done, actually. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care of yourselves, everybody. Please be sure to use my creator support code whenever you can when you are purchasing something from the shop. It would be greatly appreciated.